I know that here on this channel we often talk about my favorite colognes and I recommend them all the time, but I thought it would be fun to just for a second say some fragrances that I'm maybe not a fan of because, well, we all have them, don't we? The first one is Roja, I think that's what the name of the fragrance, from Tweed. This one, to me, I love the opening, but when it dries down, it's just not a fragrance for me. If that opening just kept going, it'll be the most refreshing, cooling fragrance for the summer. But to me, it just dries down to something that I wouldn't like to smell on a man. It's just not attractive to me. But if you love this fragrance, let me know why you like it, and maybe my taste might change. To me, if you want a cooling, refreshing fragrance, Versace Parfum, it's just much more better and cheaper. Next up is Mont Blanc Individuel. I like Mont Blanc as a brand. I think they make great fragrances, like Explorer, I talk about all the time. I think it's an amazing fragrance, but Mont Blanc Individuel, I bought one day and sold it the next because I blind bought it, and I just, to me, it's like I can't recommend it to you guys because this channel, like, I love to recommend you fragrances that I'm absolutely in love with, that I would love to smell, and this one is just not it at all. But I know so many of you really enjoy it and really love it, so what am I missing? Let me know in the comments, because maybe I'll get it in like 5 years or 10 years or maybe never, but it's just not for me, this fragrance. By the way, this is a men's fragrance channel, so if you enjoy smelling great, subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell. Now let's talk about the next fragrance. It is Santal Complet from Fragrance du Bois. This fragrance, right off the bat, when I smelt it, I just didn't get the hype, and I tried to get into it. And with this one, I actually got into it. So I wasn't a fan of it when I first sampled it and when I got it, but I actually now own a bottle and I love layering it with other scents. And I think it's a great fragrance if you love just the dry down of like beautiful sandalwood. Really, the dry down got me, because the opening is not my favorite still, but the dry down, and with other fragrances, I think mixing fragrances makes them more unique. So if you like sandalwood, the note, and want to add that into your fragrances and love mixing fragrances, I would highly recommend this one. Next is a fragrance that I also first off the bat didn't actually like, and it's shocking to me because now I actually love it. So it just shows you that sometimes you start off really disliking a note or a fragrance, but you might actually grow to like it. So it's Creed Aventus. When I first smelled it, I just didn't get it. I just didn't get it at all. And as I smelt it more, and actually as my husband started wearing it, I got it, smelling it on him, and this actually got me the idea of I should really be smelling fragrances on him, because it's not the same as just like trying it on my skin, for example a men's fragrance, and smelling it all on the scent strip. Sometimes it completely changes when my husband wears a fragrance, and then I actually get to experience it. As an objective person, I get to give you an honest opinion of what you would smell like as a guy if you wore a fragrance. Next up is a fragrance that I admit it's fun. I still got a sample of it. It's called Dzing from L'Artisan Parfumeur. This is a niche fragrance that is so fun and so different. This smells to me like a barn, horses, and like Saddle Club. This just smells very animalic and very real. It's just like you were there, and I used to take care of horses and ride horses, so it's too real to me. Like usually I wanted to get rid of that smell after a riding lesson and not put it on me. So this is a fun fragrance, but for me it's just too real and too animalistic. Let me know if you have ever tried Dzing. It's certainly a fragrance to try, because it's so different than anything else you've ever smelled in your life. Next, we've got a more of a niche fragrance. It's Inside Out from Gate Paris. This fragrance I smelled, I think, for the first time maybe a couple years ago, and this scent on the surface of it is a gourmand fragrance. I know that many people in the community like it, and I thought that I would like it too, but for me it is a gourmand fragrance that is quite dark. It is like a beautiful sweet fruit sitting in like a medieval abandoned castle that is like unkept and everything. There's something about it that, to me, I get it, but I can't wear it myself, and I wouldn't recommend it to you guys. I gave it away actually to somebody close to me, and they, after a while, they said to me, oh, I totally get what you mean about this like darkness about this fragrance, and they got loads of wear out of it, but they were like, yeah, I get what you mean, because when you wear it, you have to be strong enough of a personality, I think, or just really like that sort of a scent to really pull it off, so the fragrance doesn't wear you. Next up is a brand that I love, but I've got some fragrances that weren't my favorite. It's Roja Parfums, and it's Danger Cologne. This one, it's just not my favorite from the line. I like Enigma, Elysium so much more. With this one, I just don't know. It's quite traditional to me. It's not my favorite. I think that maybe I might grow into it. Like, there's fragrances like Chanel No. 5 that I can appreciate, but I would never wear. Well, never say never. And also Vetiver Cologne. I think this scent is quite a mature and grown-up vetiver. So if you love vetiver, and I love vetiver, and if you want a fragrance that is very, very mature, but like in a very expensive way, and I would imagine it on somebody over 60, I would say. But it's a great fragrance. I just think it's perfect for somebody that is a bit older, because it really takes pulling off. It's not just like a light little vetiver fragrance like Terre d'Hermès that anybody can really wear. Next is Cool Water by Davidoff. I don't like it. And the one that I would recommend to you that is very similar is Creed's Green Irish Tweed. That fragrance, it's similar. People say it's very similar. To me, they're similar, yes, but they're completely different in that Green Irish water tweed. I don't know, I mess up that name all the time. This one, I think it's great. It's warm, it's just cozy, whereas Cool Water, to me, it's just not my vibe. But I do recommend the intense version. I really like the intense. So, and the last fragrance that I don't like is, but before I say it, give me a thumbs up if you enjoy my videos. And it is Initio's Magnetic Blend 7. This is a musk fragrance, and they recommend it for layering. To me, this musk can smell different to different people, but this musk is very animalic to me, whereas some musks are clean and smell like pencil shavings. This one smells like an animal that has been left outside of the building maybe, and then it comes in, and it's just this smell that is not really, for me, it's not pleasant, but I know that some people don't smell that at all, so I don't know. I think it's very personal to you, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. This fragrance, if you want like a layering nice fragrance, and if you want a fragrance that will smell 100% great, I would say Another 13 from Le Labo is another excellent fragrance for layering, and it smells just musky and lovely and milky and warm, so I'd recommend that one instead. And I also would recommend Narciso Rodriguez fragrances, because their musk is... Let me know what fragrances you are not a fan of, and maybe it's a very unpopular opinion, but let me know in the comments. It will be fun to know. Follow me on Instagram at Monika_Cioch, and on TikTok on that same username, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.